Avengers! Assemble.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Excelsior, your Marvel Universe, Hero Universe podcast. I don't know what it is anymore. We cover DC sometimes. We cover Marvel sometimes. We cover Sony to some extent, because Marvel. I'm your director, Christian Buckley. As always, joining me is the Apex legend, my co-host, Jack Martin.
Excelsior. Speaking of Apex Legends, new Team Deathmatch mode coming Valentine's Day. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, that is very exciting. That is a game that feels quite fun to play. We unfortunately do not get to play TDM in a Titanfall game, so I'm glad we get to an Apex.
Yeah, it's at least Titanfall lives on in Apex Legends.
Yeah. Now, I know they said they were against this, but eventually, adding a Titan would be really cool. But
that could happen in TDM, I feel.
Rule-wise, it absolutely could because it worked in Titanfall, It's just a matter of how difficult it is to implement that stuff,
True.
But how are you doing, Jack? How are you doing in the world of Marvel or superheroes?
I'm doing well. I don't think I have any Marvel or superhero related updates. I tried reading All-Star Superman, and I did it really late at night, so I was kind of falling asleep while I was reading it. I need to get into it more because the initial premise didn't really seem all that interesting to me. Kind of seemed a little weird.
Okay.
So I would have to really read more of it to generate an opinion on it. So that's kind of the only update I have. But what about you?
Yeah, I have been very busy, so I haven't been able to get around to watching Wakanda Forever yet. But more pressingly, I'm seeing these Ant-Man reviews, or these words of mouths that are spewing out onto Twitter. If I wasn't excited before, I'm not now.
Yeah, I still don't have my tickets.
Me
And
either.
I'm probably going to see it the week after it releases.
Me too.
My friend and I were talking about just how annoying it is to go to the movies with modern audiences now. So, seems like a week 2 scenario for me.
Yeah, so look forward to our Ant-Man discussion well after it releases.
Yeah, out of date.
Yeah, which is, irrelevant at this point. If you're here, you're family. I mean, that's what we're here for. You're not. You're not
Are we
here for the
TGI Fridays or Applebee's?
I think it's Olive Garden.
Is that what it is? All right.
I think so. But we had the piping hot impressions on that video game, and then movies were after. So it's been, it's you're here for the vibes. But
Yeah, you know what you're getting here.
yeah, I did see, though, I sent this to you earlier today. Somebody asked Michael Douglas if he'd want to come back for Ant-Man 4, and he's like, if they can kill me.
Dude, that's what everyone wants in the MCU. They want a swift death.
Yeah. Do you think it's just they want out the contracts, or what?
It must be. I also think they're probably like, all right, man, I'm done coming in and reading these dumb lines. Get me out of here.
Yeah. I just think it's funny because you see somebody like a Harrison Ford be like, I just work here, man, for everything. But like Michael Douglas, he probably has an Oscar, or at least some awards. People are asking him about like, oh, Kang Dynasty in the Quantum Realm. He's like, I don't fucking know, man. Shoot me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, he probably does not want to be in the MCU for much longer.
Yeah. So
I feel like a lot of people are like that. So that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. But as a viewer, I can sympathize. But we will see how that turns out in the coming weeks. But there's an exciting thing that broke this morning as of recording. This is February 9th, via Variety. Jack, a few episodes back, we talked about how Sony, Amazon collaborating to create a host of Spider-Verse, Spider-People live-action series. And do you recall what one of the pitches we threw back and forth were?
One of them was Spider-Man Noir.
It was, and Variety has the exclusive report that Spider-Man Noir live action series in the works at Amazon. Joe Otterson wrote this up. Just gonna pull a little bit of the details. There are not many. Again, this is Variety saying they have an exclusive report from their own sources, but they are saying, quote, the untitled series will follow an older, grizzled superhero in 1930s New York City. An individual with knowledge of the project says that the show will be set in its own universe, and the main character will not be Peter Parker.
Good stuff, dude. Like, we talked about this when the Silk Show was announced.
Yeah.
But Sony just has the rights to like every Spider-Man character, pretty much.
Yes.
The 900 characters that they like to tout.
Yeah.
So just make a whole bunch of stuff like this. And I mean, Spider-Man Noir, what a great premise. Like 1930s New York, like kind of pulpy action. That's fun. So this is really exciting.
Yeah, I think this is super cool. It's sort of like reinvigorating for a Marvel project to be going for this sort of very unique, you would imagine, stylized approach to a hero like Spider-Man. And I think the most recent example we've had of that is WandaVision committing to their like TV bit, and then depending on who you ask, Multiverse of Madness was the first horror movie in the MCU, you know? But seeing a Marvel property, not specifically MCU, embracing, like you said, this pulpy adventure, 1930s detective style setting is super cool. I also think that gives you a lot of leeway with how it looks visually, you know? Like, you don't have to have these grand, sweeping, swinging through the city shots that everybody's going to compare to Spider-Man from 2000, you know, the early 2000s, and be like, this looked better than this, you know, so.
Yeah, I fully expect this to be, I mean, I would certainly hope black and white, more gangster-focused, detective. This will be more in tone with the Batman project than anything, I think.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
I think that's a good comparison because you have this tone of, you know, what is it? The 1930s, where that was the Great Recession, right?
Great Depression.
Great Depression, that's what it was. I got recession on the mind, Jack, you know?
Yeah, I mean, hard not to think about it.
Yeah. But just like how that can influence things, like you said, much more like a mobster approach, like, is there a world where in season 2 Spider-Man Noir gets shipped on down to Chicago and the big villain is Al Capone, you know? I don't know.
That'd be sick. That'd be sick.
Yeah, but this is super cool. And I didn't realize also the Variety report mentions that Spider-Man Noir debuted in 2009. That's way more recent than I thought it was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either until the report pointed that out. That's fascinating.
For sure, yeah. As far as behind the scenes stuff goes, the report is mentioning that Oren Uziel is going to serve as writer and executive producer on the Spider-Man Noir show. And they worked alongside Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who, of course, were the geniuses who brought us Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. So, yeah, this is the second, not official announcement, but the second concrete feeling Spider show we've heard of from Amazon. The first one, like you mentioned, being Silk.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess Amazon is the new home of some Marvel-related properties, which is cool.
Yeah, I remember Hulu had a little spell of them trying to get some stuff on there, and they gave us hits such as, you know, the MODOK show.
Yep. Yeah, this seems like on a much grander scale than that.
Yeah, but you, I believe, have more viewing experience with this here program. The Boys is a superhero thing from Amazon, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
That one's pretty gritty.
It is. People really like that show. I'm not as big a fan of The Boys as a lot of people are. I do appreciate it. I think it's like very heavy-handed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very gratuitous, but people like that show.
Yeah, I gave the first episode a shot, and I love Carl Urban. Love him.
Yeah, he's great.
Um, I was kind of like, the entire time I was watching, I was like, I feel like most of the audience doesn't know that this show's a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
It's
that was the
definitely
vibe
one of
I had.
those. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of those.
But I mean, Amazon has produced shows that I've enjoyed. I like Rings of Power a lot.
Oh yeah.
So, and I know you feel stronger about Invincible, right? You're an Invincible fan.
Yes, I like the show. I'm not really. I think people are very high on that show. I enjoyed it. I don't think I was as high as others,
Sure.
but I was definitely one of those people who read the comics and then watched the show
Mm-hmm.
and was like, this is all right. Not necessarily how I. It wasn't a 1-to-1 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Translation from the comics to the show,
Mm-hmm.
but I did think it was good, and I'm confident that Amazon certainly has the capital to fund a show like this. So confident in that at least.
Yeah, so with that in mind, and then producing something in the Spider-Man universe, I'm curious to see, like you said, what visual approach they take. I do hope, like, there's a version of this show you see in your mind right now, and I hope they pursue that route. But not going for Peter Parker. Obviously, Nick Cage did a fantastic take on Spider-Man Noir in the Spider-Verse movie. And I don't think they would get him. But is there anybody who comes to mind that you'd like to see sort of give life to this take on Spider-Man, which is very, I think, iconic at this point?
Oh, it's hard to really think. I didn't even think of any candidates here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any suggestions while I think?
Well,
I got one. I got one.
Okay, let's
just give it to Ben Affleck. If he's not going to do Batman,
oh my god,
give him Spider-Man Noir. Like I'm not sure the tone that they're going for, because the Into the Spider-Verse one was very pulpy and very silly.
Mm-hmm.
However, I feel like if they're going to do an actual Spider-Man Noir, they're going to do a more serious take on the character. So just give it to Ben Affleck. He needs a win.
Yeah, I mean, I saw earlier today there was a trailer that came out for his next project. He's back. Did you see this?
Yeah, the Nike movie.
Yeah, it looks sweet, and it's an Amazon-funded film. So
there you go. Got
might be onto something.
What about you?
I was gonna say Tom Hardy, but then I remembered he was Venom. Because I think he would like. I think Spider-Man Noir, even if it does go for more serious stuff, it does have to have a little bit of like cheekiness to it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm not talking like, now listen here, say, like that kind of
yes
30s vibe, but like, you know, a narration, you know, leaning into the absurdity of the narration maybe, and like some of the thoughts he has when he's looking out a window. And I think Tom Hardy would do that well, but the fact that he's Venom makes me lean away from that. So I don't know. This is a tough one to crack.
Different universe though.
That is true, but I imagine Sony's gonna want all these things to cross over in 10 years.
Sure.
I'll say Rahul Kohli. I think he could do a good job with it.
Yeah, that's a great one. He needs to just be in more things.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
The thing is, he's been fan cast for so many things, to the point where, why not? You know, this is one that I don't know if anybody would fan cast him for. So maybe that's the one he actually does. You know.
Sure. I googled Christian grizzled actors, and they're all very old, 60s and up.
What, like Clint Eastwood?
So, yeah, literally Clint Eastwood is the first result, and he's 92 years old. So, not gonna go there. Do you know who comes up here? Bruce Campbell.
That's funny.
No, that would be funny.
I think I have another good one.
Sure.
I forget his name. God damn it! What I was just gonna say the name of his show. That's not his name. He was in Baby Driver. He's John Hamm,
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
right? Because I think if
That's
you go grizzled detective, you can go older, right?
sure. Yeah, you can definitely go older. The bones are cracking a little bit.
Uh-huh. Yep.
So this is a boring one because he's just in everything now. Pedro Pascal.
Sure. Yep. That would also be great. He's got that intensity he could bring to it.
You know
Um,
who would really be good though,
who?
but he's not going to be in this is Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
It just like, the whole Moon Knight thing,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he could turn that on for this,
Mm-hmm.
but he's already Spider-Man 2099, so
Yeah.
that's not going
I
to
mean,
happen.
I mean, he's also my choice for Batman in the
Yeah,
DCU. So
for sure.
he can only be so many places. But
I do think like more on this, but I do think this character will, like I said, be more in line with a Batman.
I agree. Yeah. Like, not really webs. I don't think. Like, I could see him have like a flail, like a
Like a
like a
flail.
like a chain, like a Ghost Rider chain with like a
Yeah.
ball at the
hmm
end of it that he uses to like wrap around people and like whip them towards him.
I like that. If he does do webs, the only time I see him using it is to like web up someone's hand against a wall, like with a gun,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and then he interrogates them.
Oh God, what if they do a web gun? That's gonna be dumb.
It's possible.
I think it's probably what they're gonna do, if I'm being honest. But uh, well, this will be exciting. I'm sure we'll see it in.
2026.
Yeah, sure. Why not? But um, are there any other standout Marvel characters, or maybe Spider Verse, like Into the Spider Verse characters that you'd like to see get their own series?
Um, I would like to see. So I know 2099 is very different from Batman Beyond,
Yeah.
or maybe it's not. Who knows? But if we could do a Spider-Man Beyond situation where we have a Spider-Man learning the tricks and trades from, doesn't even have to be like Tobey Maguire, but an older Peter Parker
Sure.
teaching whoever the new person is, the new Terry McGinnis,
Mm-hmm.
about being Spider-Man, that'd be cool. Like
I
a
agree.
Peter Parker who really can't even be Spider-Man anymore. Like someone who's very old. Like we read Life Story, and the Peter Parker there, like at the very end, was in this huge tech suit and like could only move around because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about. I think that would be really cool. I don't know if that is a story in comics, but
Mm-hmm.
literally just steal Batman Beyond, but make it
Sure.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a lot of potential there because right, I feel like Batman Beyond these days, whatever possibility there was for that is dead. Like maybe in like 15, 20 years, you can do Batman Beyond with like Bale and it would mean something, but like they just canceled the Michael Keaton one. So like you gotta wait a while before you come back to that. But like you said, Tobey Maguire, wait another 5, 10 years. He's gonna be getting gray. Just literally steal it. Like it's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean they're not doing it. DC's not doing it. So
Yeah. Um, I'll say a much more boring answer. I think it'd be cool if, obviously, you have like this trio popping up in like live action animation, the games, like in a lot of places. But if Peter is MCU currently, Miles is the Spider Verse series. If we go live action Amazon, if we need a face, uh, Ghost, I think is the actual name, but Gwen Stacy, Spider Gwen.
yeah,
I think that'd be cool to see in live action. Like if you want like a standard, like full budget, like what you think of Spider Man, a Spider Man TV show, give it to Gwen.
that's a good call.
So
We need to see more of her for sure. I really liked
Mhm.
Haley Steinfeld as that character.
Yeah, me too, 100%. And they could be going that way with the Silk Show. Like that could be their goal of just like this is
hmm
the marquee character. But um, yeah, I think even like in addition to that, it would be cool to see a live action Spider Gwen show because I'm sure
Yeah,
Miles is next up in the MCU. soon.
It's got to
probably.
be. It's got to be. Surprised we haven't like really heard anything yet. Taken like quite the Spider-Man hiatus.
Yeah. I mean, we got that aside from Donald Glover in Homecoming, but they haven't followed up on that. It's
Yeah.
been a while, but
You think we hear any like significant MCU Spider-Man news this year?
this year, yes.
Okay.
Whenever CinemaCon is, count on that.
Right. I think that's like towards the end of the year.
Okay.
I don't know.
Then yeah.
CinemaCon's maybe all months of the year. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Maybe we never left it. Maybe
Yeah,
CinemaCon is forever.
We're still in DC fandom and CinemaCon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been so long since we've heard something about Tom coming back that at this point I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, we're gonna give him another bit of a break and we're gonna do a Miles movie and then we'll start Tom again.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Like that's my guess for this year. They announced a Miles MCU movie, and then Peter's in it at like the end or something, or he like pops up, and then the next Spider-Man trilogy begins with the two of them. Like look at Insomniac, kind of what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a good call. I do think
Yes.
that's what I'm thinking, like the Insomniac method. The next time we see Tom Holland Spider-Man, I think he will be very similar to how we see either Andrew Garfield in Amazing Spider-Man 2 or how we see Yuri Lowenthal in Insomniac Spider-Man. Like, they're just kind of at the height of their powers, and they've been doing it for a while. I think that's where we see the character next. I think we get a Tom Holland sequel confirmation this year, and it probably won't be out until 2026.
That
I don't know, though. That seems far.
It does seem far, but at the same time, it kind of doesn't, right? Because like think about how much MCU we get between now and then. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you'd imagine they want him to show up in something before Avengers 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like if
Yeah.
he just rolls up in Avengers 5 with that new suit from the end of No Way Home, everyone's like, who the hell are you? Because nobody knows him. Like, there's probably a Spider-Man movie to update something with his status before then, probably.
Yeah.
Right.
And the next Avengers movie is 2025,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they could get it done.
Yeah. So, you know what? Maybe it is. I'm selling myself on this now. Maybe it is the next Spider-Man movie is focused on Miles Morales for the MCU, and Peter is in the background, and we get Secret Wars, all that stuff. But like they use the Miles movie to check in on what Peter is doing and like what he's like, because with his trilogy, it was about him becoming Spider-Man, and I wouldn't be surprised if, because of how much they loved the partnerships in that trilogy between like him and Iron Man, him and Doctor Strange, maybe they just treat him as the partner mentor leaning one in these. I don't know.
Sure. I do think Miles will be introduced in a Spider-Man movie, similar to Wasp, and then like
Yeah.
the sequel will be, I don't even know what you call that. It'll be like Spider-Man and Spider-Man. I don't know.
Spider-Man.
But yeah, Spider-Man. That's what I think will happen.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how that progresses. We'll see if Venom has anything to do with. Oh God, Venom 3 they're filming right now, right?
I guess. I guess.
I bet the next time we see Tom is in Venom 3. And I'm not talking Hardy.
That's sad.
Yep. Well, we will see how that progresses, Jack. But that's really it for Marvel this week. There's not much else going on. So until we reconvene, we're taking an off week. But where can the agents of Excelsior find you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at FascinatedJack and Letterboxd if you want to follow me there.
Nice.
And GG as well. What about you, Christian?
You can find me on Twitter and TikTok at Chun2D2. You can find the show, youtube.com/joyclicks, every weekend for new episodes, also uploading to your favorite podcast service like Apple Podcast or Spotify. If you enjoy the show, a free way to help us out is liking, sharing, rating it, leaving a little review, a little blurb, get that engagement going. It helps us out a lot, helps us reach more people, and it's completely free. Just takes a little bit of your time. And if you want to help us out further, you can go to patreon.com/joyclicks at the $1 and $5 tiers for a variety of little rewards for helping us out. But that is Excelsior. We will be back 2 weeks from now. I think that's when we're going to be talking about Ant-Man, that episode.
Yeah.
So you don't get it timely, but the next time you hear us, we are talking about Ant-Man. So
I'm like low-key excited about that, but not very.
Oh, I thought you were dropping some Loki bomb right at the end.
No.
I was like,
No.
I'm looking forward to
When is that, May or
I
June?
think so.
That's something I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch that first season.
Same.
It's a good show. Well, until then, Excelsior.
Excelsior.